Hello, hello, hello. 40 seconds in free practice, and then we will get into this bronze and up race at Imola. Cozy Learner on top right now in the practice session. He is your highest rated driver tonight at 4,675 XCL points. Big dog in this server. 12 seconds and we'll be ready to go. I got DC'd again. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good.
Green light, give it all you can.
Okay, so we have been reset to a 5-minute practice because of some server issues. So, we're going to be seeing these guys for 5 minutes, and then we'll get right into qualifying. Like I said, Cozy Learner in that number 5 McLaren is your top rated driver of the night, 4,675 XCL points. He is well into his class. We have 992 coming out on track. This is Ozura 88. He is somewhere in the middle back of the pack, still in bronze. We'll see how he does today. I'm going to go into replay really quick, get Helicam up for the race. That way we can have it. And we will see how this goes tonight. Imola, amazing track. Almost everybody loves this track when they race around it. It's incredibly famous, and we're gonna love to watch these guys go around it tonight. 19 turns, including the turn on the final straight, and a lot of tricky segments. You got the 232 of the Variante Trombolo. That is a very tough section for drivers. Really the first turn of Imola, if we're not counting the little, sprouty right-hander on the pit straight. And that is a incredibly tough section, incredibly tough chicane. The 1.9 update, folks, the update we got a couple months ago on Xbox, has killed these chicanes. These drivers are going to need to be extremely careful when going over these curbs. You used to be able to cut, especially turn 14, 15. You used to be able to cut those curves a lot. No longer. You have to be careful. Have to be careful going over them. We're going to see that tonight with these drivers, how they're going to handle it, how their cars are going to handle it. It could cause a very interesting race. Like I said, Cozy Learner, your top rated driver tonight, 4,675 XCL points. He is most likely going to be at the top of the field. He is also driving the McLaren, which, as we know in this update, has been buffed handedly. This McLaren is extremely quick. So we're going to see what he can do around Imola. He's coming down the final straight right now for his first hot lap. Lamborghini coming out of the pits. That is the number 87 of Mad Audi. Down second gear. On the throttle early out of those first chicanes. And on to the short jaunt. Down to the 5th and 6th. Very technical section of the track, as with most of Imola, into the Tosa hairpin here, turn 7. Well onto the throttle early, onto the exit curb, short jaunt down to Perielta. Left-hander in 3rd gear, well onto the exit curb here, use all of the track. Hug left and the right. double right-hander. Again, very technical part of the track. You used to be able to ride those sausage curves as much as you possibly could to really squeeze the time out of the lap. No longer, especially with these curves here. You used to be able to go right over both of them. Now you can cut the first one a little bit, and the second one is a much more difficult task to get over without unsettling your car. Like I said, we're going to see how the drivers and their cars handle those tonight very soon. Welcome in, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. We're going to see how this lap does from Cozy Learner, our top-rated driver tonight. Coming across the straight, he's going to put in a 141.855. That is most likely a couple tenths slower than what he can do, but not at all a bad lap. You see that Ozura and Zero are already seconds off the pace. The free practice has come to an end, and we're going to be sending it into qualifying. Doug's Balls, someone we're going to be having an eye on tonight, did all right in the race yesterday at the Nürburgring, and we're going to see if he can bring home a better result today. Coming around the track, we'll see how his lap goes. Biff Baff, someone who also competed in Nürburgring yesterday, I believe in the Porsche, is now in the Audi. Different choice from him. And we have 3 McLarens. As we knew we would at this track, it's very, very strong here. So is the Porsche, very strong here. But it's Porsches, Ferraris, McLarens, and we got 3 outliers tied right together. The Aston, the Lambo, and the Audi. Interesting from these guys. Interesting picks, but we know how much you can fall in love with a car and not be able to get away from it. If you've ever driven an ACC, you'll know. Sometimes you just drive a car, you feel good. It is what it is. Alrighty. So we got a minute 40 maximum until qualifying starts. Fast quality section tonight. I believe it is 10 minutes still. We're going to see these drivers get as many laps as they possibly can. 41.8 still on top. 12-minute qualifying session. We're going to be watching Cozy Learner get out there hopefully early right now. Ozura is the first one on the track in that 992. And Izzo close right behind him, along with a couple of the other drivers. It looks like Cozy Learner is going to take a little bit of a back seat for this qualifying session. He's most likely wanting to get these guys out there in the middle to the latter half of the track and then get out behind them. That way he's going to have the least chance of being impeded. If you can't be first, you certainly don't want to be seconds behind the cars in front. You can see he's coming out of the pit lane now, kind of exactly what I said. He's giving them a little bit of space, and then he is going to do his fast lap. We have 11 minutes in qualifying. All of these drivers are going to get around trying to warm their tires. Most likely going to queue a little bit at the end as they are very close together. Your leader of the line is Ozura 88 in the 992 Porsche. We're going to see him coming around now, almost into the third sector. Last turns of the second sector here. Third gear. Use all that exit curve like I said before. Almost everybody is on track except for Matt Aldi. He's coming out of the pit lane right now. Everybody you can see is bundled up there on the bottom right of your screen. They're gonna need to queue for qualifying, aka form a slow moving line so that everybody can get a little bit of space. Ozura, what he's gonna want to do is just go as fast as possible. He's gonna want to get out in front of everybody. He already has the space in front of him. He's first on the track. He's a lucky boy. Track is optimum. Track temperature is 26 degrees. Very manageable for the tires, and we are already down to 10 minutes in qualifying. 2 minutes has gone by. We need to see these drivers put in consistently good laps. We have an optimum track. They are not going to have to delay their pace at all. It's not like a fast track. It's not developing through the qualifying session. It is already at the fastest it's going to get. Here's Ozura 88 in the 992 Porsche, coming down the final straight onto the first corner there. Now onto the second and the third, all the way down to third gear, left-hander on the power early. Try to avoid those curves, which you can see. He taps those yellow curves just a little bit, and it's going to unsettle the car extremely aggressively. Into the second sector now. through the left and the right-hander, braking in the middle of the two as that right-hander is a tighter radius than the first turn. We see Cozy Lerner coming down to the second and third turn now in his McLaren, has space in front of him. We're going to see a good lap from him hopefully on this round. 9 minutes of qualifying left, folks. It is going fast, and it's going to continue to go fast because we have plenty of action to cover. Third gear, using all of the exit curve onto the left-hander, now into the double right at Imola. Down to fourth, brake in the middle of the two, down to second, right-hander, use all of the exit, and he's through safely. It looks like a pretty good lap. Is he going to be off the pace? Izzo behind him, invalidated lap in that Porsche. The 190 behind him, another Porsche, Mr. Azon. We're going to see how he goes along. You can see Izzo gets on those sausage curbs just a little bit too much. It's unsettling his car quite a bit. Ozura, our front driver in the number 992 Porsche, coming around now the double left, the last real corners of Imola. We're going to see what he can do on this lap. It is full throttle to the end now. Where is he gonna go? We're expecting the top pole time tonight to be somewhere in the mid to low 41s, and Ozura is going to cross the line with a 42.7. This will put him most likely middle of the pack. The 190 Porsche, 1/10 off of that time. The 34 Ferrari coming around, 1.1 seconds off. The 66 Audi, well off the pace, and the 666 Ferrari beats out his Ferrari companion in the number 34 by less than a tenth. The midfield is going to be tight. You see 400s there between the 666 and the 34 Ferrari. Unbelievable margin. The 992 Porsche, and look at who we have on pole. Like I said, our top-rated driver tonight, Cozy Lerner, 41.5. We know he can go faster. That's a good lap from him. 7.5 minutes to go in qualifying. The midfield is going to be absolutely tight tonight. It's going to be very little difference from these drivers. 992 Porsche, Ozura, your second place driver, is on an invalidated lap. Not sure what happened there, but we're going to continue to keep an eye on him through the session. The 24 Porsche of Easel 89, coming behind Ozura now, needs to set a good lap. His last lap was invalidated. That might be invalidated there. No, he continues to go on his hot lap, non-invalidated, making his way now to the double left-hander, the last real turns of Imola. We're going to see him brake all the way down to second gear, cut that chicane all the way down to first, onto the exit curb, and we're going to see what he can do. Left-hander, all the way onto the exit curb once more. You see Ozura catching the sand in front of him. He's coming across the line in about 3 seconds, and we're going to see how fast he can go. The 24 Porsche goes into P2, cutting the time by less than a tenth. And look at this. Do we have an identical lap yet again? A 42.624. Identical laps from the number 24 and the number 190 Porsche. Unbelievable, folks. We had this happen yesterday at Nürburgring. They are tied for P2 and 3, but because Ezeel put his lap in first, he's going to be ahead of the Porsche behind him. Now, where is Cozy Lerner going to put his time? A 141.1. Is he going to dip into the 140s? We're going to have to see. It looks like nobody is even close. The second three drivers, effectively, the three drivers behind Cozy Lerner, our pole sitter, are all separated within a tenth. And behind that, they're close as well. Identical laps, like I said, from the number 24 Porsche and the number 190 Porsche. It's going to be immensely close through these guys through the race. They're both going to be fighting for P2, if not trying to protect their podium from someone who we know is rapid and know has good race strategy, Ozura 88, behind, effectively in front right now, as he is still leading the pack. 24, 190, both on invalidated laps currently. 34 is going to be our next one to cross the line. Mazinger, he is 2.1 seconds off the pace, and he needs to find a tenth in his lap to gain a position above the number 6 Porsche of 0. If he can find a tenth, he will go up the spot to about a tenth off of Doug Walls in the 666 Ferrari P5. Mazinger can find a P5 here. All he needs is 2/10 off his lap to go top 5. He's coming around the last turn now. Let's see what he can do. Ozura improves his lap, as you see. He's up into P2. 1.3 seconds off the pace, and a measly 700ths in front of the 24 Porsche. Mazinger goes P5. Like I said, he got a fantastic lap in for him. He shaved 3/10 off that lap, and he is into the top 5. The Doug's Balls still P6, 0. P7 still. Trying to chase him down. Weefy in the 111 McLaren goes into P8, ahead of Bibath and ahead of Diablo. Matt Aldi, terrible lap from him. He's 3/10 off the Aston Martin in front of him, who is 7/10 off the Audi in front of him. He's last place currently out of the people who have set a lap. SRL Rozo is still going around the track. I Love 68 sets his first lap 3.5 seconds off the pace, and Cozy Lerner is into the pits for some more fuel. 4 minutes left in qualifying. He has set a 40.9. I do not think that is going to be touched tonight. The 24 Porsche is on a valid lap, the 992 Porsche is on a valid lap, and the 190 Porsche is also on a valid lap. All of these people are going to shake up their position right now. 666 Ferrari of Doug's Balls on a valid lap. Number 6 Porsche of 0 is on a valid lap. The 111 McLaren, 2.8 seconds off the pace, on a valid lap. 303 looks like he had an off. That would be SLO Rozo in the 296 Ferrari, letting I Love 68 go past. Diablo is into the pits. Cozy Lerner out on track for maybe another fast lap here. 992 around the final turn, coming out of the straight. Let's see what he can do. He's 1.5 seconds off the pace. He's gonna go to 1.1 seconds off the pace. He takes the P2. Ezo drives into the pits. Clearly had a problem with his lap. Guess who's P3? It's Mr. Azon. He is 1.2 seconds off the pace and less than a tenth in front of Kirsch, who is in the 61 McLaren. He's going to take the last podium spot. Azil is into the pits right now, is doing an actual pit stop for some more fuel. 2 minutes 45 seconds left in the qualifying session. Doug Balls fully in the pits, maybe going to get some fuel, try to come back out, secure a top 5 in qualifying. Mazinger coming around the first sector now in the number 34. He is on a valid lap. 992 Porsche on a valid lap. Can he go faster to hopefully secure his 2 spot? No, he's slowing down on the last part of the track. He's invalidated. He's going to get some more fuel, come out as fast as possible because we only have 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in this qualifying. Azon, 190 Porsche, 1.2 seconds off the pace. All he needs to do is find a 10th and a half to get this P2. The number 66 on an invalidated lap, Biffat. He needs to improve, otherwise he's going to be starting from P11 in this race. 24 on an invalid, 34 on a valid lap. Mazinger coming around some of the last final real corners of Imola. He has 4 more real corners to go. And I say real corners because, you know, they count the corners on the straight. I don't count the corners on the straight. But official people do. Ozura 992 in the pits, 1 minute 30 of qualifying. He's not going to be able to get another lap, which means he's not going to be able to protect himself from Azon behind, who's on a current valid lap and is done. He's on the straight. Nothing he can do to improve his lap now. He just has to hope and pray that he's found the pace. He has. He goes P2 in the 190 Porsche, and he has another lap yet. Ozura is going to be upset that he is in the pits. He's going to be upset that he didn't go around for another lap. 1 minute 10 left in qualifying. Not really any reason for Azon to keep going, but Kirsch behind might find some pace as well. It looks like he might get around for one more lap. I believe he will, so he's going to cross the line before the end of qualifying. The 999, who is in the Aston Martin, did not go faster, unfortunate from him. The 303 Ferrari needs to set a valid lap. He's on invalid right now. He will have one opportunity to set a valid lap for qualifying. I Love 68 in the number 68 coming across the finish line. He's going to improve by 7/10, but that is not enough to find him a position. He needs to get one more tenth to get up to P8. We have 30 seconds left to qualifying, folks. The number 66 will not get another lap. They are invalid right now. 61 goes P3. Beats out Ozura by a tenth and 2/100ths. Unbelievable from him. He's going to get one more lap. Azeron coming around 2 of the last corners on Imola. He's going to want to find some pace, but really no reason to as he's safe in P2 with Kirchis being able to set one more lap, and Azeron might want to look to protect himself here. Qualifying, the timer has run out. 66 on an invalidated lap. Coming through the finish line. Worst he's gonna finish is back in the grid. Most likely he'll keep his spot in P11. The 190, number 190, Mr. Azeron into the pits. not going to improve on his lap, so he thinks, might as well return to garage. Mazinger, invalid lap from him. He's not going to be able to go up anywhere. Worst that can happen right now is to go down a couple places. Diabolic. Let's see if he can improve his lap. Diabolic. He is P12. He's coming across the final straight. He needs to find 4/10 to go up position higher, and he does it. He finds 5/10. That 999 Aston Martin is into P11, barely off the top 5. The number 24. That is going to be someone. Number 20. Oh, there we go. Izo comes across the line. Not going to improve. 1.5 seconds off the pace, and there it is for qualifying. Cozy Learner, number 1, 40.9 is your pole time, and everybody behind him is tight, unbelievably close within pace. 5/100ths off P2 and P3, which is Azaron and Kurcic, and to round out your top 5, Ozura and Izil. These guys are less than 4/10 separated. This is going to be an amazing race for the midfield. Cozy doing cozy things, absolutely true. 40.9 is rapid around Imola. We're going to have a fantastic race tonight. Midfield is going to be battling it out. If I had to guess, Cozy's probably just going to run away, but, you know, Cozy does what Cozy does. Into the bottom of the field now, the 303 Ferrari of SR Rosso did not get a valid lap in. Unfortunate qualifying session from him, but with only 12 minutes, you need to be decisive and you need to make your decisions quickly. Otherwise, you're going to have what happens here, finishing qualifying with no time. A 30-minute race, folks. Track is 28 degrees. It was 26 in qualifying. Not enough to really dictate the pressures change very much. And here is your grid. Cozy starting at the top. Mr. Azaron in second position, 9/10 off Cozy's pace. We'll see how the race fares for these Porsches. We know Porsche's temperamental. We know they're hard to control. So we're going to see how these guys do with 4 of them on the grid. Kurch in P3, the number 61 McLaren, showed some good pace, is very close to P2, and we know that this is going to be a battle we're absolutely going to watch. Another battle we're going to take a look at is the 992 Porsche versus the 61 McLaren. P3 and P4. It's going to be awesome. They were less than a tenth separated in qualifying. It's going to be really, really close from those two. Easel is rounding out your top 5. Mazinger had an invalid last lap in qualifying. Unfortunate from him. Doug's Balls, a regular we see on a regular basis. 666 Ferrari, he's going to be starting P7. 0 P8, I Love 68, who we know has some race pace, know is pretty consistent, is going to be starting P9. Weefy in P10. Diabolic in P11. Biff Bath, who we also know has some pace in the Porsche, is now in the Audi and starting in P12. Mad Addy is in 13th, and SLR Rosso is going to top out your grid. 30 seconds until the race start. We are absolutely excited to happen to take a look.
Seconds.
So we're going to watch the P2 Mr. Azaron. I gotta go into replay again. If anyone says that this game doesn't have problems, they're lying to you. Just to get a camera angle, I gotta go into the replay. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. So we have our eyes on right now. Mr. Azaron 190. P2 out of qualifying. Starting the race there on the front row with Cozy Learner 7852. Now, my prediction for this is if Cozy Learner can get through lap 1 clean, he is going to be safe for the rest of the race as long as he stays consistent, as long as he doesn't put it in a wall. No one is close to matching his pace, which means that all he needs to do is channel his inner Max Verstappen and watch some Netflix while he's driving or something. Stay ahead of everybody and not even give anybody a chance to catch up to him. Mr. Azon behind 190 Porsche. You see him there. Kurcic behind him. Kurcic, maybe. 61 McLaren following. Ozura. Ozura. Yeah, I like Ozura. Ozura 88. I'll ask him later. In the 992 Porsche in P4. And rounding out P5, Easel 89. What is up, Mr. Trickle? Welcome to the stream. 30-minute race here at Imola. It's going to be fun. Just like the Nürburgring, not a short lap, kind of medium as far as GT3 goes. We're looking at the 140s to 150s for these drivers. So, we're going to see how it plays out. Race will be starting very, very soon. And like I said, this is bronze and up, so there are no rookies in this race, which means chance of T1 madness is lower, but never impossible. Even in the high-level league races, we know that T1 crashes happen, especially at Imola. It's a fast left-hander right before T2, and we're gonna see how it plays out today. Man, that Azon car is beautiful. That blue Porsche with the bronze wheels, loving that. And we gotta figure out how to tell Cozy to make his own livery. He can't keep running this preset madness. So Cozy starting from the top, Azon in second on the same row. We're gonna see these two battling it out. We're excited to see what happens right now. Perchich, 61 McLaren. Uh-oh. I was thinking maybe we're getting server issues right now. There are server issues. That is a disconnect. Well, that's not good. Was it me? I don't think there's any way it was just me. It might have been just me. No, Azon is in the pits. Many drivers are in the pits right now. Many drivers got disconnected, which is really unfortunate. Pertrich number 61 McLaren is going to be in P2 now, as a couple drivers had server issues. As we saw in the practice session, looks like turn 1 went relatively smoothly. Easel is going to be up a couple places from where he qualified as well. Zero is going to be up. Everybody's going to be a little bit benefit from this server disconnect. The people who did not disconnect, which is really unfortunate. We don't love to see it, but it is what it is. Cozy Learner running away from the rest of the field. Perchich is about 4/10 back. I'm assuming that's going to be over a second by the end of the lap. Yeah, really unfortunate with the server. Really sad stuff. You hate to see that. We're going to go into replay just so I can get this helicopter camera really fast. So Cozy Learner still in first place. Perchich still in second. And these are your disconnects. Azon, Ozura, Dogs Balls, Mad Aldi all had a disconnect. This was your P2. It's so unfortunate, guys. You know, sim racing is just one of those things where stuff like this happens really easily. 3/10 off of Mazinger is Easel 89 in that 24 Porsche. Mazinger is into the pits, taking an early pit stop. Mandatory stop for fuel here at Imola. I Love 68 also into the pits, following the same strategy there. We're going to see how that plays out for them. Cozy Learner goes fastest, which we're not surprised by at all. And we're going to get a little helicam going. So, we have a wonderful fight here. Weefy on the back of Zero in the number 6 Porsche. We're going to see how this plays out. About 3/10 back now. Looks like that gap is possibly building a little bit. The front three are very separated. Over a second between each of them. 2 seconds between 2 and 3. So not looking at anything quite there. Azon, Ozura, Doug's Balls, and Aldi all had a disconnect. All are still in the pits. Really unfortunate for them. Mazinger, Biff Baff, I Love 68 all took a very early pit stop. and they're going to be battling on the edge of the pit straight. Biff Baff now on the right side of I Love 68. I Love 68 is going to be taking the inside line. Biff Baff breaks much later and takes the position. He's going to be well ahead now. Mazinger came out before the both of them, and so he is going to be leading the charge of the people who have already taken their stop. I Love 68 still on the back of Biff Baff. He has faster pace than Biff Baff, as we saw in the quali, and he is 1/10 back. He wants to make a move as soon as possible. That way he can get away from him, run away as fast as possible. 26.5 minutes left in this race, folks. We have a long time to go. 1/10 separating these two. Doug's Balls, someone who had a disconnect, still in the pits. Otherwise, Matt Addy, Mr. Azon, and Ozura are all out. These guys are going to be fighting as well. Ozura has the pace over the Lamborghini by about a second, so he needs to get by as soon as possible if he wants to have any opportunity of salvaging a race. Azon is ahead of both of them, I believe. No, he's behind both of them. Looks like he's trying to make a pass on the Lamborghini. He's going into the outside of this, breaks a little bit later. Looks like the Lamborghini maybe let him by, knowing that he has the pace. He has 5 disconnects. Very, very sad. I mean, you hate to see it. I Love has gotten past Biff Baff. It looks like Biff Baff has either some damage. Yeah, it looks like he has some front end damage. Or he just had a spin, in the sand. Something happened there. Writing a G Portal ticket, perfect. Yeah. And you know G Portal, they'll just be like, oh, it was the hardware on your server. It's so unfortunate. It never happens. Yeah, well, G Portal, it happens like every other day. So, don't know what to tell you on that one. Aston Martin is being trailed by SLR Rozo. 9/10 back. He's going to be wanting to make a move as soon as possible on this guy, trying to get past him, trying to get up the field. He started from last position. With all of the disconnects that we saw, he's gained a ton of positions. He's up into P7, right behind the Aston Martin, the 999 that is in P6. Cozy Learner, 4.4 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. He is running away. Kirchich, 3.3 seconds ahead of P3. He's absolutely on pace for a P2 right now, as long as Mazinger cannot catch him. Kirchich has the pace over Mazinger. If Mazinger just pushes and puts in really, really good quality laps, there's a chance that Mazinger is going to come out ahead of him while Kirchich is in the pits. We're going to have to take a look at that when they both come in. Gap is down to 7/10 in between Rozo and Diabolic, the 999 Aston Martin. It is going to be close between these two. It's going to be a longer fight, as Imola is. These are fast corners. These are mid-pace corners. Very few of them are first gear, if any, in some cars. And so we're going to need to see these drivers hold their composure. Less mistakes, more consistency is the name of the game at Imola. 24 minutes in the race to go. All of the gaps are large. Matt Audi is into the pits for his mandatory stop. As we know, he had a disconnect, and that does not count as your mandatory stop. So all of the people that DC'd not only are far behind, but are going to have to take a stop again. Matt Audi also has the rookie color on his number, which means that he really shouldn't be in here anyways. So that's something to talk about with Mr. Trickle in the chat, just to let you know, buddy. 7/10 from 303 to 999. We're going to see this battle unfold most likely in a couple of laps. The gap is either coming down by 1/10 a lap or it's going up by 5/100ths of a lap. So it really just depends on if the Ferrari behind can be more consistent than the Aston in front. We're going to see how that goes very soon. The 111 Wi-Fi, beautiful car there with the black and gold McLaren. He is 1.9 seconds off the back of Zero, the number 6 Porsche, who is leading the charge, trying to get to Easel. The 24 Porsche, Easel 89, coming down into turn 2 and 3 right now, is being caught by Zero behind him. Kirchich, 61 McLaren, still well ahead of the rest of the field. He's 3.5 seconds ahead of these guys. Coming up on a little bit of traffic now, which is the 87 Lamborghini. We'll see how this goes. gap to the Aston. 1 second. The Ferrari is not consistent enough, not consistently fast enough to catch this Aston. We have 22 minutes left in the race. Might be a little bit of a more slow-paced one today, folks. Not as much action as our 40 driver Nürburgring last night. 1.2 seconds is the gap from 0 to Easel, which is worth taking a look at. We'll see if he can catch him at all. And let's get a little bit of a oh, I can't get the camera angle I want because it's ACC. I forgot. 1.1 seconds off the back of Diabolic, so this gap is increasing by 1/10.5, almost 2/10 a lap. You got some time to take a breath? Yeah. I don't usually like to take breaths when I'm qualifying, but you know, in a race like this where it's just everybody's got a gap behind them and everybody's got a gap in front of them, it is what it is. You know, you kick your feet up, you watch what's going down, and you enjoy the cars going around the track. It's really all you can do. 20 minutes of this. 20 minutes of engineering, basically, is what we're watching. Into the second sector now, that Aston Martin has built that gap to a consistent 1.1 seconds, and the 1.5 seconds in between 0 and Easel is still there. Really, everybody just isn't making mistakes, which, you know, is what it is. Ozura, Mr. Azron, both two people who had the pace to maybe even get, you know, probably not a win, because, you know, it's cozy, but definitely a podium out of these two. Both into the pits for their mandatory stop. Both had a disconnect. Really unfortunate. Their gap is down to 7/10. Maybe that Aston Martin had a little bit of a moment. Maybe the Ferrari is finding pace, but 1.1 seconds down to 7/10 between these two. Yes, the bronzes are very equal pace. Very true. The midfield was very close during qualifying. So gap from 0 to Easel up to 1.4 seconds now. 0 just doesn't seem to be catching. Maybe there's a strategy change here for him with 19 minutes left in the race. We have 4 minutes until the halfway mark. Still 7/10 between these two. We're going to get an update very soon on how close they are once they cross the finish line. Aston Martin is going to cross first, and then it's going to be the Ferrari up to 1.1 seconds again. So it looks like the Ferrari in the second sector is the stronger car, and the Aston in the first and third is getting all of his time back. So it doesn't look like there's a move to be made here. Looks like they're just going to stay separated. Matt Addy in the back of Mr. Azon, but Mr. Azon qualifying second. Don't think he's going to catch. Cozy, you want to see a cozy lap? Of course we can see a cozy lap. He's coming up on traffic now, which is the 992 of Ozura. Someone he was competing with a little bit in qualifying, but I mean, it's cozy. He doesn't really compete with anybody in this class. And we're going to see a little bit of an onboard lap right now. So, Cozy Learner coming across the double left-hander here at Imola. It is the last of the real turns at the raceway. It's going to be awesome to see how fast he can go. He's already set his quali lap of a 40.9, and it looks like he's almost 2/10 up on a 40.775 invalidated lap, but coming across the sweeping left-hander into turn 2 and 3 now, all the way down to second gear in the Macca. Try to limit your touching on those curves. Onto the right, up to third, throttle on early, into the left-hander, use the exit curve there, and we're out. 6/100ths up on his lap, braking somewhere in between the 100 and the 50. Fourth gear, down to second. On the right-hander, stays in third, onto the exit curve, coming now for the only first gear corner in the McLaren at Imola. It's the hairpin, turn 7, onto the exit, second gear. We're going to see how he does on this lap. He is a 10th up out of the first sector. Unbelievable pace from Cozy down to third gear, onto the exit, use as much of it as you need to. It looks like his setup is really, really good. Low steering inputs you can see from him. He's going to brake just before the exit at the first corner, down to second for the second corner, and off the track onto the sausage. He's going to lose a lot of time there. It looks like that might have been where he really was doing good on his best lap. It looks like he lost time just by being, you know, a little bit off of the racing line. The right-left, very tough for those sausage curves. You don't want to touch them in this 1.9 update. The sweeping right into the double left, the last two real corners of Imola onto the exit curb, brake just before the apex of this second left-hander, and he's done. It looks like he's a 10th back from his 40.93, which, in all honesty, if he can set 41s the entire race, that is brutal consistency. That is amazing from Cozy. You can see how really dialed in his movements are. His steering wheel is smooth. He doesn't jitter on the entry of corners, which is something you see a lot with newer drivers. They go really, really hard, a lot of angle into the corner, and then they have to correct themselves mid-corner on the apex. That's not what you want to do, and you see it from Cozy here. He's smooth in with his steering wheel through the middle of the corner. He doesn't need so much input to overdrive the car, which is another thing you see ACC drivers do, and he's well off on the exits. Third gear into the left-hander. You can see he just lets the car drift out onto the exit, no fighting the car, and that's why he's able to go so quickly. The gap to P2, folks, is 15 seconds. The pace from this man, the consistency from this man is unbelievable. Yeah, quality laps without any threat from behind is true. He's into second gear on the exit of that turn. Folks, we are halfway through the race. We have 15 minutes to go here at Imola, and we are watching on board with your leader, Cozy Learner 785, to a nice left turn there onto the exit curb, brake right before the second apex, onto the exit curb once more. He's about a 10th back, and look at that consistency though. This is only going to be a couple hundredths off the lap that we just watched, his 7th lap, or his, yes, 41.117. That is 5.4 hundredths off his previous lap. His quality is on, his pace, his consistency, his race pace is unbelievable. He's brutally dialed on this track, and every track really that we watch him. Look at this now. Weefy, behind 0, has managed to catch him up with the pit stops happening from the cars like I Love 68. You know, we had Diabolic come in for his stop. So we're going to see this now, 5/10 back from the number 6 Porsche. Can he possibly get the pace going and make a move for the P3, the podium position here at Imola? He's now 4/10 and he's into the sand. That's going to be really unfortunate. That's going to kill his time a little bit. Less than 14 minutes to go in this race. High Doug's balls. Very unfortunate that you had the disconnect. That's why he's here. He DC'd. It's sad. I Love 68, 6.1 seconds back from Marinsger. Easel 89, kind of running away, building himself a gap. And the time in between these two cars that we are watching right now, the 111 McLaren and the number 6 Porsche, 0 and Weefy, 4.48 seconds in between them. Really looks like he gained some time there. He's right onto the back of him now. Less than 3/10 for sure out of that corner separating the two. It's going to be really, really close from these two drivers. Unbelievable stuff here. Let's go on board with the McLaren, see how he's going to do. Weefy there. We're going to switch to his onboard. We're going to see him hunt down this Porsche in front of him. Kirchich is into the pits, and Weefy's going to go into the pits. It's a fantastic strategy from him. The undercut. Did he get a little bit of speeding on the pit line there? We're going to see. It looked to be quite close. It looked as if he almost didn't make the pit limiter. We'll have to take a look when he comes out of the pits. If he does get a stop and go, that's going to absolutely ruin his race. But the reason I say this is such a good strategy, as you see, that orange 1 next to Zero's name, he has not taken a stop. Weefy, by taking a stop right now, is creating an advantage for himself. He's going to come out on track with Kirchich in front of him. Right in front of him. Weefy, as the guy behind Zero, is going to be able to push as fast as possible and try to get past Zero while he's in the pits. If Zero struggles at all, and if Weefy stays consistent, there is a good chance that Weefy has a podium in the bag. Kirchich now, almost 100% is going to get past Zero when Zero comes into the pits. He's well ahead of Weefy on the track, and we're going to see it happen very soon. Easel, we know, took that position from Weefy as he was coming down the pit straight. Easel is in P5 now, securing his top 5 and possibly securing a podium for himself. If there's a chance Weefy can get past, then we will see Weefy get a podium. Otherwise, if Easel parks it in front of Weefy and does not let him by, we're going to see Easel in the top 3. Cozy's gone. Like, I mean, he's gone. He's going to drive a 30-minute practice session is virtually what this is for him. I mean, unbelievable. 10 minutes, 45 seconds left in the race. This dude has disappeared. Weefy has 1.8 seconds to gain on Easel. Mazinger, who was someone who took their pit stop quite early, 1.4 seconds behind Weefy. The midfield battle is going to be epic. I think I had Cozy. Oh, I bet you had Cozy. No, I mean, your pace was so good. You definitely had a potential win. We have Weefy gaining. We have Mazinger behind. The midfield battle is going to be one we're going to keep an eye on. Zero needs to push. If he wants to secure a podium, he needs to go fast. He needs to not make mistakes. If he makes mistakes, Kirchich is going to pounce. If Kirchich makes mistakes, Zero is going to be even safer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just runs away from you because he's terrified of your overtakes and your amazing racecraft. I mean, Doug, you terrify us all in many ways. Many more than one. The gap from Weefy to Easel has increased to 2.4 seconds, whereas the gap from Weefy to Mazinger is down 2/10. This is something we're absolutely going to watch. Mazinger might be looking for a top 5 once these drivers come to the pits. SLR Rosso having an amazing drive. Man finished last in qualifying, had a couple of disconnect. Cozy SB, please get phones. Oh my gosh. Had a disconnect, benefited from the disconnects of the other drivers, but started last, now in P3, with his pit stop most likely going to come out around the 6-7 mark. And midfield finish is amazing for the start that he had and the quality that he had. Unbelievable from him. Cozy's just, Cozy's taking the piss. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's unbelievable. He's just gone. You can see how soft his suspension there is, rolling over the sausage curbs. It has so much travel. You know, that bump stop range is really, really large on that McLaren. And he's finding time, even with the soft suspension. He's rolling it into the corners exactly how he has to. With 8 minutes left in the race, we're going to see him for sure take the P1. I mean, he's 30 seconds behind in front of a guy who hasn't even pit yet. Like he would win even if Zero didn't pit. That's unreal. Less than 8 minutes to go. Gap is up down to 1.9. Weefy is off the track. Weefy is on the side of the track moving slowly. Mazinger needs to pounce. What happened? Mazinger got past Weefy by a good margin, and so did I Love 68. And it doesn't appear that he is damaged. I wonder if he just had a little bit of a spin. Let's take a look at what happened here in the 111 McLaren. He got passed by 2 drivers. He definitely did not have a small incident. Are we just not going to be able to see anything? Is that how ACC works? Okay, so the cars are just invisible, so you guys just aren't getting a replay. This game is just beyond my comprehension of broken. I don't know what to tell you guys on that one. 4.8 seconds from Imola to Kurcic. And the battle between Wifi and I Love 68, the 2 Macas in the midfield, is 7/10. Looks like Wifi is having some problems with consistency, having some problems tying down his McLaren to the track. We'll see how that ends up very, very soon. Zero yet to come in for a stop. Less than 7 minutes to go in this race at Imola. SLR Rosso also yet to come in for a stop. He is behind the lapped traffic of the 87 Lamborghini, who is in the back. And rounding out your bottom of the table, Azon, Orza, and Biff Baff. Unfortunate for these 2 Porsche drivers. They had fantastic qualifying. They were looking good for a high race finish, and the disconnect happens. It is really unfortunate. Cozy yet to take a stop. He's got 6 minutes to do it. He'll probably go as late as possible, hoping that lap traffic won't just end his race right away. But being a bronze and up race, you know, not having to deal with rookies definitely helps. The gap is up to 1.6 seconds in between the 68 and 111 McLaren. Maybe that McLaren has some damage on it. Doesn't look cosmetic, but possibly some suspension damage that he endured when he had his little moment. Zero is in the pits, and this is absolutely something we need to pay attention to. 42 seconds a gap from Zero to Kurcic. That is enough for a little bit of a battle. Will Zero come out ahead? Is his pit stop correct? 1 liter of fuel is what you want to put in for the stop, and he is sitting there way too long, folks. He sat there for at least 6 seconds, which is much longer than the ideal pit stop of 5 seconds, or 3 really, with 1 liter of fuel. We have 5 minutes in the race. Kurcic coming down the pit straight. He's going to take the position by a mile. Is Ezo going to be able to benefit from this? He's also coming down the pit straight. He might take the position as well. It's going to be tight between these 2, but not really, because Ezel's way past. I Love 68 much further behind. He's not going to be able to benefit from the slow stop of Zero. God, this game confuses me. He's in P2, but he's not. He's in he's not in P2, folks. He's P3. So Ezel is looking good for a second place now, sharing that 1, 2, 3 podium with Zero. And no, that's what happened. Cozy is gone. Cozy disconnected. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh, Cozy was minutes ahead. Minutes ahead. Oh, that is so sad. Wow. Unreal. Well, we know where Cozy's going soon. It is G Portal headquarters, folks. He's gonna be on the way with a vengeance. Someone go take that man's guns. Because I would be walking in there ready to light up. Unreal. We have 8/10, the gap from Zero to Ezel for the P2. There's absolutely a chance that Zero can make this overtake happen. We're just going to have to see how he gets on. Ezel, 7.1 seconds back from our new leader, Kurcic. Really sad about Cozy's disconnect. Wow. I mean, to do your thing like that and just go so far ahead. Server 3 is broken. We're never using Server 3 again. It's in the trash. It's in the bin. Really, really sad. 5/10 the gap from SRLO to Wifi. My fault. All the way up to 1 second now. So those two guys are not consistent, which, yeah, no, that is what it is. 1.4 seconds the gap now, falling behind immensely. Really unfortunate. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the position on this current pace. 61, well ahead. Yeah, it looks like Easel is just starting to get those latter half of the race jitters. False win, true. It was probably because I said he's on pace to win it, and I didn't, knock on wood. I almost certainly cursed him. I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do now, except, like, award him a pity trophy, or a participation medal. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know what we want to do about that. Kurchich crossing the line now. Let's go on board with a little lap from our new leader. You guys are going to be able to see a difference between Cozy and someone who isn't Cozy. Braking a little bit earlier in the second gear. Over the sausages much more and on the throttle much later. You can just see it's not as smooth. The car doesn't move as smooth, but this is your new leader. Kurchich definitely has pace. It's not to say he doesn't have pace. It's just Cozy has like 5 times more pace than anyone here. But I should stop speaking out of turn because Cozy is gone. He's dead. Metaphorically, of course, he disconnected. This should be a void race. Well, hopefully Cozy won't lose any points. You know, XCL has a good server disconnect report system, so just clip that disconnect, you send it right on into them, and they will remove the negative 50 points that you get or whatever it is from a DNF. But Kurchich doing really well around this lap now, coming into the left-right sausage. Cuts that first one a little bit more than you want to, but coming into the final double left-hander at Imola. This could be the last lap here of our 30-minute race. He's a 10th up on his previous 42.5. You can see the difference there. I mean, Cozy was doing 40.9, and Kurchich doing 42.5. But Kurchich is going to get a race win out of this, technically. If I was him, not one I would be bragging about. But that is the checkered flag for Kurchich. Leader is across the line. It is all over. Mazinger is 3/10 on the back of 0. Possibly some last lap action, but they are crossing the line now. That's going to round out your podium, folks. Kurchich, Easel, and 0 all taking your 1, 2, 3. And we have 8/10 behind Weefy and I Love 68. Looks like he gained a little bit of more time, but that's going to round out your top 5. Mazinger, I Love 68. That is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kurchich, Easel, 0, Mazinger, I Love 68. Those are your top 5 drivers. The race is finished. Looks like the Aston Martin is going to finish P8. SLR Rosso, amazing drive from last position to P7 with those disconnects. He gained a good amount of positions. If you look at the people who didn't disconnect, that's going to be Diabolic and Biff Baff. He passed those 2 drivers with 4 seconds to spare. He did a really good job there. Ozura, poor Ozura as well. Had a disconnect early on in the race. Mr. Azeron across, and that is it, folks. That is your final grid placements. Biff Baff coming across the line in P9, and your last driver to cross will be the number 87 Lamborghini. Thank you all for tuning in to the race. This one was, how do I say, disappointing. It was sad to see the disconnects. There you see Cozy Lerner, DNF, P13 with the fastest lap. Very, very upsetting for him. He'll be taking his whiskey in pain tonight. But that is 30 minutes at Imola, the XCL Bronze and Up race today. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. If you liked it, if you liked the commentary, if you want to see more of this, please follow the Twitch. Go ahead over and join the XCL Discord or visit xboxcommunityleague.com to get signed up for these races every day. Appreciate you guys coming by, and we will catch you tomorrow for the U.S. time zone 7 p.m. race tomorrow. If you guys would like to check that out. 7 p.m. EST, I'll be streaming it. And thank you all again.